Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Belinda here. Today I'm going to do Roxy's weekly challenge, week 38 I think. Let me just double check. Yes, week 38. Starting with a masterboard. Now I have grabbed out of my scrap bag any sort of bit of digital that was kind of usable. So digitals from the Junk Journal Studio, from Rach and Bella Crafts, from my own digitals, and from Joey Cardmaker, and whatever else I happen to come across. So an eclectic mix of all sorts of sizes and what have you. I'm going to use this as my masterboard base, but I do believe it's going to be too wide. Gee, I thought I was prepared. You know what, thought. So this is my regular journal page. No, actually we should be okay. I think we'll be okay. I probably just want to trim down this edge a little bit. But I think I'm going to do that after. I'm not going to worry about it right now. So bear with me as I kind of get myself organized here. So this particular masterboard I'm going to do directional. Normally I do it all over the show. I don't care whether things are upside down or sideways. But for this one, I want everything to be in the same direction. So that's a bit different for me, not normal. I'm just going to trim off the white. Rachel used her trimmer to make square edges, and I thought, I've never done that either. Let's do that. So a couple of firsts off the bat, and I'm going to cut this down a little bit. I'm not going to say where each individual piece has come from because I'd be here all day, and the masterboard is just part of the process. So let's get into this gluing on some paper and making our masterboard. I hope you're all having a great day. What's the weather like where you are? I hope it's lovely, not too cold, not too hot, not too windy, not too wet, you know, whatever. Whatever the weather is doing where you are. As I'm recording this, we're having a typical spring day, as in the weather is very changeable. So it was cool and windy this morning, then it came warm, then it turned southerly, which is cold, then it turned norwesterly, which is really warm, and now we've just had northwest rain. It's all over the show, my friends, totally. Right, just grabbing bits out of my pile because I just need to downsize my scraps. And what better way than a masterboard that we're going to use straight away to make today's project, which is, Rachel calls them top tucks. I would normally call them up tucks, but I think top tucks works really well as a term. And this one needs a little bit of a straighten up. Safety first, putting the arm on the guillotine down so I don't chop my hand off or something. We don't need that sort of carry on anyone's video, do we? No decapitations or amputations, please. Right, totally random here, and I'm overlapping, just having some fun playing with the scraps. So this is early days for me in the week. This is still Monday as I'm recording. I'm going to be out Friday, and hubby's also talking about going out on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully both things, both Friday and Saturday, should be fun. I might put that in that bottom corner. I'm just using book page as my base. because the other side is not going to be seen in this project. So I'm going to be trimming this side off, so I'm just kind of eyeballing about where it's not too critical, wherever my most further over part, wherever the furthest over piece of paper is that I collage on will determine where I trim it down. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth. Right, and realizing that I'm not actually collaging it according to direction. So this is upside down and this is upside down. The rest are okay. So I need to actually make this my direction. I think that will go really well just straight down there. So I was just away in collage land, not concentrating on how I was placing things. So it's going to be a somewhat eclectic mix of colours and designs because I'm drawing from lots of different designers, or at least 4 that I know of that I recognised. I don't know if there's any other pops of anything, possibly. I don't know. Right, I don't want that all that length. Let's chop it down a bit, maybe in half-ish. Put it there. No, my guillotine is not a glue page. I cannot glue on my guillotine. Well, I guess I could, but it would be very messy. My paper wouldn't slip when I go to cut it, would it? It'd be glued in place. Let's do about that line there. Sorry, space limitations. So just gluing off to the side. This is my 3rd video today. I am feeling pretty good that this is my 3rd video today. I ducked out for, I was out about an hour delivering the journals that I've just finished making for a commission. So delivered those into the hands of the person who commissioned them, and she seemed to be very happy, which is good. She had a quick look through while I was there, and so I could explain a few things and show her. But she was going to have a proper look through on her own and pull everything out and explore. So hopefully she, you know, really enjoys them when she has a proper look through. So super good that they are done and now in the hands of the commissioner, shall I say, commissioner, the person who commissioned them, and they will be given to the 2 birthday ladies that were commissioned for. They will receive them, I think, on Saturday. There's a party, a joint party for the 2 ladies, so they'll get them on Saturday. So that's quite exciting. Oh, why not? I'll just put that all across there. It's always a good feeling to get a commission finished and in the hands of the person. So there'll be a flip up of those journals coming on Sunday if you want to have a look at those. Put that piece down there. Oops, that's not straight. Straighten it up a bit. Okay, what else have we got? Let's chop this one down a bit. Seem to have a lot of long, narrow strips. Must be from making things. Well, they're all from making things. Goodness, what an inane thing to say. But maybe from trimming pages or something. Some of these are very old and some of these are quite fresh. This one doesn't need to have a direction. Let's put a little bit up there. Come on, get in under there. So let's go about there. Yep, that works. I need to make a gazillion masterboards. Honestly, with the amount of scraps I have of patterned, of neutrals, of book page, although the book page I go through quite quickly, but particularly the neutrals and the patterned papers, I could literally just sit here for days on end making masterboards and still have some left over. This is text and it's sideways, but I'm not too worried about that because it's just partial, and I'm going to use my little card here to tear. That worked well. Haven't actually done that before. Makes a nice little compact tear ruler. As well as a smusher downer, like so. Pop that down there. Hope the lighting's okay. It's what's the time? 5 to 4 in the afternoon. So, and it's because we've just had that rain. It's quite dull. So I hope you can see okay, and that the shadows aren't too bad. I can't find a way to get rid of the shadows. It's, no matter what lighting I try, I've got shadows in some form. So hopefully they are not too distracting or too dark or whatever. Right, let's use our little card again because that worked so well. Another first for me is using my card as a tear ruler. Fun. Oh, and it's stuck. I need a new glue page too. So the monthly Masterboard challenge is coming up next week. Who's following along with the monthly Masterboard challenge, and how many people have been making them? I haven't yet decided what next month's Masterboard is going to be, so stay tuned for that. I've got a list of things, of techniques and themes, and then when I'm preparing to do it, I choose 2 of those and put them together and decide what we're going to do. So I never kind of pre-plan it. My pre-planning is about the week I'm going to record the video. That's about as far ahead as I get. I might go for this end. Don't know why I'm tearing off that little bit, but I am. We might need it somewhere. So yes, I had a lovely visit with the lady who commissioned the journals, and we had a good catch up and chat for an hour. A lot of that time, of course, was taken up with looking through the journals. And I saw the lady across the road. I was going to put it down here, wasn't I? We've got new neighbours across the road and I haven't met them yet. And the new lady was out in the garden, but I didn't have time to stop and say hello. So I must catch her again one day when she's out in the garden. and introduce myself and welcome her to the neighbourhood. Older couple than what was there previously, so that is actually really good, because the previous couple were young and very noisy. So it's rather lovely to have a quieter couple in that house now. Many times over many years we were subjected to thumping music twice a week from the couple that used to live there, and it was just, oh, it was awful, really awful. And then there was the night where a friend of theirs died, and which is very sad, and I had sympathy for them, but they had a kind of commemoration thing at their home, and all night into the early hours of the morning there were people doing burnouts in their driveway, which is almost opposite our bedroom. It just was awful, so loud and freaky too, because it's like, what if somebody lost control and they shot across the road and into somebody's house or fence or whatever. It's like, oh, found it very disruptive and didn't get a lot of sleep. And while I have sympathy for their friend that passed away, I don't think that was an appropriate way to memorialize them in a residential street. Unfortunately, it was classed as legal because they weren't on the public road, they were up the driveway, but just wasn't nice. So all that to say, I am very pleased that we have an older, quiet couple now in that house. Very pleased. And she seemed lovely. She gave me a lovely big wave. Oh, that's not, is it wide enough? It might actually just be wide enough. Just want to tear it about there though. I'm going to throw that little scrap away because that's tiny scrap. We're trying to use up scraps, not just keep the tiniest bits. Ridiculous. It's not actually a scrap, it's rubbish. I need to change my language. Don't call it a scrap because that implies I might actually be able to use it. Right, a bit more trimming down. This has got the name of the kit it was from on it, which I don't want, and the white strip. It's got a butterfly wing on it too, or part of a butterfly wing. This is from Rach and Bella Crafts, I know that. A lot of these papers are from Rach and Bella Crafts or Junk Journal Studio. They are my two main digitals here. Sprinkling of my own. I haven't used any of Joey's yet. I haven't come across them in my stack yet, so they must be towards the bottom or something. Right, where do we want to put this? Oh, that would, oh, I left white on it. Let's try that again. I don't want the white. That's better. Oh, I can't pick it up. Driving me nuts. Okay, let's do that about there. It's not straight. Let's straighten it up so it covers the gap. So we're almost done with the masterboard. Just a couple of spots down here and there, so 3 spots actually. Can't count. Oh well, I am enjoying this little tear ruler, aka gift card. Super handy. So I have begun work on the newsletter for October. If you're interested in receiving the newsletter, which comes with a discount code for my Etsy and freebie printables, then head along to the description box. This is a different digital again. This is a random one from a digital that's no longer available. Head along to the description box and you'll find a link there to sign up for my newsletter. It just goes out once a month at the beginning of the month. And it's got some goodies. It's got a section on quick little tips. Quite often there's a bit of personal information or story or something. Yeah, you're most welcome to head along and sign up for that. I promise never to spam you. It's only once a month that it lands in your inbox. Here's a little strip that would just work really well there. And I might just glue it all the way across. See, sometimes we do need the smallest of scraps. Here's got a couple of bits of text on it, just a couple of letters, but I don't think that's going to matter for what we're doing because it's just a small little piece. Okay, we've got this and this to do. It would fill that gap quite nicely. Just want to tear it down a bit. About there, I think. Oh, gluey fingers are not helping. Let's guillotine it now that I've got it roughly where I want to chop it. I can make a much better job with the guillotine. Oh, my tummy's gurgling. My apologies if you can hear that. It's just my cup of tea processing, which reminds me it's about time I had another sip. Yep, it's lukewarm. It seems to be the story of my life. Make a cuppa, sit down to record a video, and then drink it when it's cold. Which, for the record, I do not enjoy cold, hot drinks. You know, hot drinks that have gone cold. They're just not pleasant. My hubby doesn't mind. He will happily down a cup of tea or coffee that was made the night before, and he'll drink it in the morning or whatever's left of it. And I'm like, oh, that's so gross, but he doesn't mind. Strange creature in that respect anyway. Love him to bits, but sometimes I find him quite odd. Like, that's just so gross. Drinking cold drinks that have been sitting there all night. Ugh. Not my cup of tea, she says tongue-in-cheek, with knowing that it's a bit of a pun. Not my cup of tea. It just fits. Very neutral scrap. It is patterned, but it's very delicate. Colours. Okay, and now just something for here. Do I have a scrap that's about the right size? Oh, what about this one? Just need to trim along the bottom, I think, and we'll be good. Straighten that edge up. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, and it left again. Very unsatisfying sneeze that fails to sneeze, fails to go achoo, and yet still makes my nose run. Like, what's that about? You promised everything and delivered nothing but a runny nose. That's like just so disappointing. What a letdown. Mind you, your ears will probably thank me that I didn't actually sneeze properly. Didn't have the big loud sudden noise. Right, so I believe we are done. Just giving it a scan to have a look. I think we are good. And my pile of scraps, look, is just still huge. And that's just the digital ones I grabbed out of the bag. I mean, what? Right, does this actually fit? Yes, it does. That's awesome. Okay, now, Rachel did, was it 2 inches? 2-inch strips, I think. I want to turn it around the other way so I've got the straight edge against the bar at the top. So I think 2 inches, that looks about what Rachel did. I can't remember what she said, so I'm just going to do 2 inches because that looks good. The last one might be a bit different depending what is left on that page. So doing it from the back so that we can't see what they turn out like, because I love the reveal. And I also need to trim, actually I can trim that up now. This fits this way. Hopefully yep, it's all covered in papers. Right, now back to 2 inches. And what's this? This is, we're not going to get 2 more at 4 inches. We've got just over 3.5. So shall we do 1 3/4? Yeah, let's do 1 3/4. So that's 1 3/4, and then this one is, oh, actually about 2. Right. I thought they would both be sort of more about 1 3/4, but they weren't. Okay, so this one, and this one need the ends trimmed. Just checking the scrap that I cut off that it's got a bit of decorative paper on it, because that means that the good bit will be completely covered. So far so good. Oh, that one's not. Okay, let's do that one in a bit further. That's better. Okay, I think we're finished with this now. And pop it down on the floor where it lives. And let's turn these over and see what we've got. Oh, that's a pretty one. So this is why, or part of the reason why I wanted them all directional, because they are going to be used in a certain direction. And that one. Okay, so now from here, I'm just going to stack them up a little bit. We need to do a rounded corner. Well, you don't have to, you can choose not to, but I did like that feature. And depending which side of the page you're going to put it on, so it's going to go at the top of the page like so, and it's going to wrap around. You can do it across further or right across the top of the page, whatever you prefer. So whichever one is on this end, so you need to either round this corner, or if it's on this side of the page, you would round this corner. Okay, just the one corner. So it depends what side of the page you want to put it on. This one I think I'm going to do this way, and I'm going to use a roll of washi tape. Is that going to work? Yep, to create the rounded corner. You can use a corner rounder, but I don't have one that cuts this deeply. Same as what Rachel said, she didn't have one that created the larger rounding, and neither do I. So I'm going to draw around something and hand cut it. It doesn't need to be perfect. So maybe if I do alternate, so I did this right hand side, Now I'll do one on the left hand side, and that way I'm going to get a good distribution of right or left hand sides. So let's, I'm going to do them one at a time, otherwise I'm going to end up mucking up. So that's, put them in 2 piles maybe. So this is back to this side, so that corner. You can use anything to draw around, or you could even use a compass. Okay, so that's that one. This one can be on this corner. Oh, gurgles. It is definitely that cup of tea that's making my tummy gurgle. It's funny, it does it all the time, but I only notice it when I'm actually on camera recording a video, or when I'm lying in bed trying to sleep. And sometimes hubby and I are just giggling so much because my tummy's making stupid sounds. It's really quite ridiculous sometimes. And it only happens at night time if I have something too close to bed. So if I have a drink too close to bedtime, or if I have a snack, which I typically don't, it's normally the fluid that does it, then my tummy just goes nuts. Has an entire week's worth of conversation all by itself, and sometimes it's just so funny, particularly if I'm really tired. It's definitely time to cue the giggles, which makes it worse because then I can't sleep because I'm giggling and gurgling. Oh, don't you wish you lived in my house for all the weird goings-ons? Okay, so we've actually got 6, and we've got 2 in each, 3 in each direction. Gosh, math. Can't do math today. Let's have another sip of tummy gurgling juice, because why not? Right, so this will go on the side of the page, and with, oh no it doesn't, this goes on, sorry, this side of the page. This is the crease, the spine, not the spine, the, what's it called? Yeah, spine, I guess. That's where it's sewn into the signature. And on these, Rachel made a little tab at the end here. So I'm going to fold about there. And I'm just going to decide what I'm going to do with this part, this back half. Either I want to chop it off, leave it, or what. So that will go on like so, right at the top of the page. And it will be glued on along the top here and down here. This part will be turned into like a tab, and I'm just going to cut a couple of little snips out of it. Actually, I might try and match that up with that little... Ooh, that was a big gurgle. Can you hear it? I can certainly feel it. It was like my tummy was rippling. I should stop talking about it because that makes it so obvious. So it's going to be a wee tab that will sit out from the edge of the page, like so. And then you can tuck something up there. Now this side, do I want to leave it like that? You could have it as a small tuck, so like this fits, although this, yeah, no, it would still fit. Like you could even have something bigger if you left this open. You could also have it as like a top pocket and glued it on that side, but as a tuck you would fit something like that in. Or I'm just thinking, have I got enough length to glue it at the bottom here and at the top, and then put something very small. This is just a template for cutting corners, like a really small tag or a ticket or something, just something very little. I think that would work if you wanted to do that. So that's an option. Options with the back, or you could trim it down and just have it as a decorative little piece. I would probably round the corners, but on the side I would just like normally do the normal sort of corner rounding. Like so. Whatever corner rounder you have, if you have one. I mean, it's quite a nice little decorative feature. You could glue it down totally and just put like a little focal image on there and have it. It nicely covers up these dates, which I always try to do on these pages. So there's some options on how you deal with the back bit. This bit just gets glued on and is a top tuck / up tuck, and you can decorate it up with whatever you like. A little focal image, a label, a word, whatever, the usual suspects. So that's pretty much the project. These I think are just going to go into my bin. I will decorate them up as I use them and decide how I treat that fold over bit. Some of these I'll probably use my envelope punch board to create like a tab there. I'm not sure whether I could use the whale tail punch to do a... No, probably not. It would punch the wrong direction. But there we go. There is Roxy's weekly challenge, week 38. Really fun and really easy, and I think they're going to be super cute. I mean, look at them. With all those different digitals, I think they are visually already interesting. Thank you so much for joining me today and for putting up with my googly tummy and what have you. I hope you enjoyed the project, and I hope you'll come back and join me tomorrow for another video. Take care, my friends. Bye for now.